Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and we are wrapping up week 10 of my Road to Olympia Bikini Amateur 2023. So this was a very easy, smooth, happy week. I feel like it's the last of the easy, smooth, happy weeks. I think things are going to get a lot harder from here, but there were no changes to my macros, no changes to cardio or steps. Everything was really good at my check-in. My coach is really happy, which is awesome. So much so that I actually got a refeed. Refeed. Oh my gosh. Ketchup. Yum. That was thrilling. I definitely was a bit intimidated having a big meal. I know I have a lot of time still before the show, and refeeds are very necessary and they serve a purpose, but it's still just really strange to have a big meal when you're trying to diet down and get lean for a show. So we went with burger and fries. It was delicious. And the next day, I didn't feel as amazing as I was hoping. I thought that having this great meal would mean a tremendous workout and my fasted cardio would be spectacular, but I kind of just felt tired and kind of sluggish, but still got it done. And then the rest of the week was just normal. Speaking of cardio, I created for myself a desk over top of my treadmill so that when I'm doing steps, I can have my computer open and maybe work on some of my recap videos. So I'm doing cardio right now and check out my new treadmill desk. How perfect is this? Zip tied, secure. I'm on max incline right now and everything is totally working. This is cool. I definitely try to multitask as much as I can, and so long as it doesn't affect the intensity, then I'm totally cool with using, one finger on my keyboard to create some of those recap videos while I am doing my cardio. No. And then, workouts were great. Cardio was good. Steps were easy enough to get in. There was even a time that we took my eldest daughter roller skating. So I was able to get some activity in some creative ways. And it was great. So this week I was definitely focusing on the finer details of show day and just the whole trip to Orlando in general. So for one thing, I booked everything that needed to get booked. So I booked our flights. I purchased the show tickets for my husband to be able to watch me on the Tuesday that I'm competing. I got both of us our tickets to the expo for the whole weekend. And then I also got us the Friday tickets and the Saturday show tickets. I registered for bikini. I also registered for Masters bikini. And then also, we are going to not come directly home. We're gonna kind of stick in one extra little final holiday before we come back to Canada after being in Orlando. But he is probably watching, so I don't want to reveal too much of where it is that we're going because it's a surprise and I did all the booking. So that was a big to-do. There's a million tabs open on my browser, so it was a big effort. The other thing that I did this week that was very detail oriented is posing. And I really focused on back pose transitioning to front pose. I have been saving videos on Instagram. If ever I see anybody that catches my eye that does something that I think looks beautiful, just save it and, you know, return to it later. But now that the show is approaching and I have to really make sure my routine is perfect, I wanted to go through some of those videos that I've saved and pick out what it was exactly that I loved that they were doing and how does it look when I do it. So, I have 4 different areas in my house that I like to do posing practice. So first is the basement. It is spacious. I can practice the walk. I can close the door and be alone. I usually practice posing down there right after I've done cardio. I never put on a fancy suit or anything. It's just whatever I happen to be wearing. And then the only thing I don't love about it though is it's cold down there. So I always have to have the heater on. The other place that I like to practice is actually just up in the living room. It is very bright, lots of natural light. I've got a lot of room to walk. The floor is nice, so my shoes glide easily. So I can practice the walk, I can practice the posing. I've got a nice big mirror, and that's typically where I go when I do my video calls with my posing coach. Then we also have some mirrors up in the kitchen. You can see them behind me here. So that's less of an actual structured posing practice and more of a drop off a dish to the kitchen table and strike a pose in the mirror and see how can I get into my angles quickly and easily without really thinking about it. So that's just kind of like a fun little spot that I practice now and again. And then my favorite spot probably of the whole house is in my bedroom. And I think I like it there the most, even though it's super cramped. The floor is covered in carpet and a rug, so it's not ideal in the high heels. I just like being up there though because I can close the door, I'm by myself, there's nice light, and it's warm. So I've got this big mirror and I can just really practice those finer details and see myself and figure out what it is that I want to do. So there were 4 different girls who were IFBB pros that I had saved in Instagram that had done something that I really liked. And so I tried to emulate what it was that they were doing in my own posing. And then I sent those videos to my coach, we chatted, and we both agreed that one of them was definitely the one for me. So now I have something that I can focus on and practice that for the next 10 weeks. And one other thing that I've been thinking about a lot is makeup and hair. So I have a bit of a surprise with hair. So I've always known that my natural hair color, which is what I am, kind of strawberry blonde, is not the greatest for stage. It's very monotone with the tan and with the darker makeup, and I find it just doesn't pop. I've known this all along. When I competed 10 years ago, I thought the same thing. And I've been trying to work with it. I put in this little highlight in the front, and no, I really do think that I got to do something different. But I'm not willing to do a complete makeover, overhaul, life change like that for just a show. So I actually purchased a couple wigs, and I'm going to decide which one to wear when I have the tan and it's like show day. I'm just going to put it on and see which one feels right. I definitely have a favorite right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens on show day. And there are only a handful of pros who I think embrace the more strawberry toned hair. Evita, Adriana, Tatiana, and Lizzie. But Lizzie actually recently made her hair darker as well. So I'm very curious about how that changes her placings, if at all, and just how she feels with the darker hair. So I'm following her kind of closely for sure. And then in terms of makeup, I do my own simply because I'm fairly proficient at it. I'm not a makeup artist by any means, but I can do a good enough job. I do feel like I need to go a bit darker with my foundation and the contouring and just be a little bit more extreme. And in terms of my eyeshadow, I really like the shape that I made at the last show. I think everything kind of popped. I have very deep set eyes. So when I go heavy with black, it's not a good look for me because I already have a lot of shadow and darkness with my eyes. So my whole goal with makeup is to make my eyes pop and be bright and very visible. However, I saw this siren foxy eye look on Liana, and I thought that looked amazing. So it was similar to what I did at Toronto, but a little bit darker, a little bit more dramatic. So I might give that a try, see how I like it. I'll show you guys, and you can tell me if you think it's too much for me or not. So my intention with the white in the waterline on the bottom is to try to keep the eye as big as possible while stretching it long. So it's a beautiful shape, but it's not too much blackness underneath. However, if I'm trying to be more like the picture that I saw of Liana, I would definitely need to do a bit more black. Okay, so I suppose you could just leave it like that, but this is show day and this is the Olympia, for crying out loud. So I always take it one step further and I add glitter. And I don't just add glitter, I add glitter. Okay, so we've got one eye glittered and one eye just shimmered. And honestly, when I look at that picture of Liana, her brows are way bigger and thicker than mine. So I think that is something that I could do also. And I would go in and make them even bigger so that on stage you really see them. But as I mentioned to you before, I am going to be wearing a wig. So I don't even know if I'm going to be doing a brown eyebrow. I might do like black. Crazy. We'll have to see how it looks that day. Okay, so the setting spray is settling in, and all I really have left to do is my lips and the eyelashes. Okay, so I've lined the lips, definitely overdrawn the middle. It's a bit crazy, but this is show day glam, not everyday glam. Okay, lashes are on. They're big, they're bold, but they're not obstructing all of that pretty glitter. Okay, so the last step for me on show day is going to be choosing which wig I want to wear to complement the tan and the makeup. And I have two, and they're very similar in the style. They've got the bouncy curls, but they're quite different in the colors. So, do you guys want to see the wigs? Should I show you the wigs? I'll show you the wigs. Check it out, brunette. I still have to play around with the hairline, the lace, but isn't that beautiful? What do you think? How do I do as a brunette? Need darker eyebrows for sure. And here's the darker wig. Isn't that amazing? What a crazy transformation. You'll have to let me know in the comments which one you guys like better. I definitely have a favorite, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So that was my week. Very simple, very easy, very smooth. And I'm excited now for things to probably ramp up, get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more hardcore, and just see where we go from here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my recap of the Masters Olympia. That was very exciting. And I'll be back with all kinds of videos coming in the future. So don't forget to subscribe, give me a like. See you soon.